Hi lads and lasses, Modest Pelican here with Battlefield 1. If you enjoyed this video, please become a plastic surgeon, and when people come to your surgery clinic, no matter what they ask for, simply attach a pelican beak to their face, as this really helps spread the good word of my channel. Battlefield 1, the legendary game I used to make videos on exclusively. I've actually made over 100 videos on this game, but after a couple of years I decided I would start making videos on new games too. It was like my exclusive relationship with Battlefield 1 was now an open one. We still loved each other, but we slept with other games too. I'm not too sure how well this metaphor is working, like I didn't literally put my penis through the hole in the middle of the game discs, well at least not that often. Anyway, I fired Battlefield 1 back up this week, and hot damn, it was beautiful. There was only one server, and it was rotating some pretty random maps, so I'll show you some clips from this week, but mostly a wider range that I have saved. Only one server still running though, that's nuts, but I guess that's living in Australia for you. You can't find servers in older video games, and on top of that, the second you walk outside, a koala drop bear falls out of a tree and pulls a 9mm handgun on you and tells you to bend over. Australia, mate. So the first thing I noticed coming back to Battlefield 1 was just how thick this game really is. I mean, it looks ridiculously good, but also the World War I atmosphere is so immersive, I'm surprised players aren't experiencing PTSD. The explosions and sound effects are all so perfect, and the only thing that breaks that immersion is the multiple soldiers aggressively teabagging each other and sending hateful, hilarious messages. Like, I'm no historian, but I'm pretty sure that didn't happen in World War I. Could you imagine if it did though? Like killing some guy and then posting a letter to his wife, and 12 weeks later when she finally receives the letter and opens it up, it just says, "Your husband was a dumb f***ing noob." Got him. We also saw the introduction of huge behemoths, which your team would be given if you were losing by too much. They were super cinematic and looked epic, but usually some clueless malacca would get into the driver's seat and proceed to make sure that Big Papa Behemoth was completely wasted. Honestly, they would almost never help the losing team actually win. They were more a form of compensation for having your ass kicked than anything else. Imagine you were getting beaten up by 5 people, but then they stopped for a second and were like, "Hey man, here's a piece of chewing gum." And you were like, "Oh wow, thanks guys, that's great. I love the spearmint flavor, wow." But then they just continued to beat the shit out of you. The behemoths are the chewing gum. Like any classic first-person shooter, Battlefield 1 had its fair share of iconic guns. Some that were loved by the community, and others that if you chose to use, made players genuinely hate you with a burning passion. Take the Hell Regal for example, a prototype gun that didn't actually get used in World War I, but in the game, it was ridiculously good. But if you chose to equip it, you were basically admitting to everyone that you peed sitting down. And if you're a girl, I guess you basically admitted that you peed standing up. The Martini Henry was my all-time favorite though. I mean, hearing the sound of this gun was like your ears were having an orgasm. It only had one bullet in the chamber, so you had to hit your shot, which is why it was so fun. It was really a rifle for gentlemen, and you were only allowed to use it if you drank whiskey neat and fapped exclusively to Rick and Morty. The variety of gadgets in the game was also very tasty. My mates and I once tried out a bunch of meme tactics using these gadgets, like the time we equipped a bunch of smoke grenades and rocket-propelled smoke grenades, and smoked out an entire area of the map so we could easily push up. We appropriately nicknamed the strategy 420 penetration, and it made for some good clean fun. Another time we all equipped anti-air rocket guns and all fired our shots simultaneously so the pilot would be dead before he knew what had hit him. We nicknamed this strategy Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, and honestly, shooting these pilots down was some sweet revenge for all the times they had bombed us. Like, not much makes me rage, but later in the game's life cycle they introduced this plane called the Merrimitz, or Merrimitz, well, I can't be bothered looking it up, it sucks. And basically it was just this huge off plane that would just carpet bomb objectives and make you want to kill yourself in real life. Okay, wow, it wasn't that bad, but like you could be hiding inside a house and it would just Hiroshima your ass as it dropped bombs of depression all over you and your squad. The maps in Battlefield 1 were one of the things I loved the most though. There was so much variety and it just kept things so fresh. You'd go from fighting around a sprawling French town where at the start of the match every building was standing erect, but after 30 minutes of fighting sniping, the whole area would be reduced to ED rubble. The very next game, you'd find yourself sprinting around a dense forest, blasting people's faces off with shotguns or scoring insane multi-kills with dynamite as you exploded a bunch of dirty little noobs cowardly seeking shelter in a bunker. There was about 30 maps in rotation towards the end of the game's life cycle, and having all these different locations to play in was honestly amazing. I feel like a damn spoiled kid reflecting on my childhood, as I only now realise how lucky I was. What about elite kits though? You'd find these kits you could pick up sprinkled around the map, and they basically just turned you into a super soldier. It was the equivalent of flopping your huge Johnson out in a public change room as you asserted yourself as the alpha soldier. You'd receive a massive health buff and be given a powerful weapon which you would use to make your opponents cry sweet salty tears. These elite kits were a little bit controversial, but I don't think anyone can deny they added variety to the gameplay. Plus, you could cheese some incredibly long and easy kill streaks by camping your little dick off and making your stats look good. And everyone knows that beautiful women love good gaming stats, so there is that. Bloody sniping was a bit of a cheese too. They introduced this new mechanic called the sweet spot mechanic. I would have personally called it the G-spot mechanic because I am 12 years old, but basically it meant you could snipe enemies really easily at certain ranges. It made sniping both easy and fun, and I don't even really enjoy sniping that much anymore for some reason. Like, I probably have some sort of suppressed emotional scarring from 1v1ing people in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, but in Battlefield 1, even I would pick up an SMLE and have a fine and dandy old time pretending I was in FaZe Clan and asking mum to get the camera. There was always that one sniper who'd position himself like 5 kilometers away from the rest of the team and would never be there when you needed him, like an alcoholic stepdad. They were in their own little happy world. Maybe they'd get a couple of kills around, but one thing they weren't doing is helping their team in any meaningful way whatsoever. I usually referred to these guys as hill humping f***s. Sucks that I have to censor that word now, but I'm sure you know what I said. One of my talented and artistic subscribers, Dr. Komochi, even drew a picture of a sniper literally humping a hill. Look at the damn facial expression of the hill, he's loving it. Now that's true art right there. Of course you have your tanks too, and damn they are powerful. Just like your maps, the variety of tanks is vast. You have your light tanks that were perfect for bullying scrawny little infantry, heavy tanks that are the classic slow moving heavy-hitting brawlers, and even the Saint Chamond variety, which had a special ability for when things started to go badly, where you could call an artillery barrage in on yourself, taking enemies down with you in a magnificent suicide. If teamwork was your thing, you could even pile into a menacing landship with your squad, which had twice the firepower, but let's be honest, if you were playing with random players, you'd have a better chance of training your bloody pet dog to be a side gunner than relying on one of them. But if you did have friends online, piling into one of these things made for an incredibly good time. Well, right up until someone sneaks up on you and humiliatingly wipes you and your friends out all at once, but such is life. Speaking of friends, Platoons, which were basically just online gangs, used to haunt those who weren't a part of a group themselves. You would suddenly see 15 people all join the game, and for the poor casual gamers who are hoping to sip a cold beer and unwind after a long day at work, would find themselves being figuratively molested by 15 of the sweatiest gamers known to man, all with microphones on, treating a meaningless game of Conquest like it was a goddamn military operation. But no, look, I was and am still part of a platoon myself. The legendary Stealth Corps, the most hydrated and dominant platoon in the world, founded by Stealtho Fieldo and Stealtho Carbo and led by our fearless leader, Stealtho Simo. But our communication is far from serious. It is mostly just people talking about non-battlefield related topics, but every now and again someone unleashes a string of vulgar words in rage, at the top of their voice because a corner camper has emerged out of nowhere like an unwanted boner and plowed a shovel straight into their internal carotid artery. Anyway, Battlefield 1 will always be a special game to me. It's the game that inspired me to start this YouTube channel 2.5 years ago. I actually remember downloading the free beta so well and thinking to myself, god damn, this game is so very moist. I took a long break break from online gaming a while ago, and though I really enjoyed the single player campaigns of each of the Bad Company games, I missed out on gems like Battlefield 3 and 4. I have gone back to play them, and I can see why veterans of the franchise speak so highly of them. They are both such good games. Like DICE, if you happen to be watching this, just heavily copy Battlefield 3's gameplay and update the graphics, and you'll probably have the best bloody first-person shooter game ever. But anyway, everyone's going to have played games at different points in their life, and for me, Battlefield 1 is one of my favorite games of all time, and for all the reasons mentioned in this video, it is still simply so damn legendary. See what I did there? That's the title of the video. In general channel news, I've started a Twitch account. I had my first beta stream last night. Well, at least I mean the stream was beta, but everyone from the Discord and Twitter who came along to the stream were most definitely alpha with huge Ds. But anyway, it was a lot of fun to chat with you legends. We played some Battlefield and some Hitman. The Hitman mission went completely off the rails and we ended up murdering about 85 innocent people, but we had a few cheap laughs. So if you have a Twitch account, I'd love to say g'day to you live, and I will link my account in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and a massive thank you to my hydrated beastly patrons for supporting the channel through Patreon. Have yourselves a great week, until next time, and as always, stay classy.